Hi y'all, what's going on? Here I am again, and I just left Elijah. It is Sunday. I went to service today that was outside here in Chula Vista, and I gotta tell you guys, I had a really good time. It was outside at this the old amphitheater on 3rd Avenue. If you ever get the chance, The Rock has services 10 a.m. every Sunday, and you will be blessed if you go. So I'm hoping you guys do. Take me up on that. Maybe I'll see you there one day. So today's video, I wanted to talk about good news, giving people hope. So last time I was on here, I talked about how it's important to give thanks, and that helps us battle things like depression and anxiety, negativity, and just, feeling overall like defeated. And sometimes we just need little habits. We need to, combat all those negative things with positive things. And so today is talking about good news. So I have good news today. I was able to spend time with Elijah 2 days in a row now that he has been more talkative and active. And I think maybe it's because he's on these injections for his schizophrenia, and it just makes it where he doesn't forget to take his medications, and it keeps him on that regimen. So he doesn't have to worry about it for 30 days. Well, I'm giving thanks because, I'm sorry, that was last video. The good news is, and what I have to share with you guys is that yesterday we went for a walk. It might have only been down the street to the little 7-Eleven down by where he stays, because he does stay in a independent living facility for now. And I just asked him, I said, would you like to go for a walk? I mean, I got a hug when I went in to see him, and he said yes. So you have to jump on those opportunities, and I was able to do that. So we took a walk, and we were talking about things, and he's not always in the best of spirits, and in fact, he doesn't really share a lot. He displays a lot of the symptoms of catatonia and withdrawal and isolation. So he can go a long stint without talking, and he can go a long stint with just being in a bad place with his psychosis. So when he is lucid and he is actually talking to you face to face, you have to take opportunities. And so I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to give him hope today. And it might be little things, right? So the little things he was starting to nitpick on were his the people in charge there's 2 of them, and like any young adult, he'll feel kind of picked on, and he has to follow the rules there. And it's important because I want him to be able to socialize, follow rules, be somebody that can contribute to society. And it starts with those little rules. And since he's living in a home with other young transitioning adults, he's able to, it might be very small amounts, because let me tell you, I go in there and they're not always talkative. There might be a TV running, and they might have just had something to eat, but nobody's really, it's not the Oasis. It's not like Bally's where they're just socializing and having a good time. No, they're there because they need extra support, and it definitely shows. So I said to him after he started nitpicking, I said, well, you know what the good news is? That you have a place to stay. That you have like good people that are able to help me and you as my son to take your pills. They remind him to take, he does take other pills besides the injection, but they help him with like reminding him he's got to eat three hots a day. And it's different now because it's going on a little over 2 months that he's lived there, and he's had to do a lot of adjusting because he's been used to me and my bad habits. I'm an enabler, and I just like, what do you need? What can I do for you? So the good news is that he is transitioning well, and he has help and support, and I trust them. And I was able to tell him that. I said, I trust these ladies. That's just somebody walking behind here. Don't mind them in my video. I don't know how to do live or anything. I'm not a tech savvy person, so you guys have to excuse me as I get used to this YouTube. I hope to be better at it. But yeah, so I gave him a bit of hope, and he was like, yeah, like, I guess so, Mom, but still, you got to give people something to feel good about, to hope for, and even if it's something that's small. Today, my good news was I found a church that Eli is going to join me with next Sunday. We usually go to one that's a little bit further, and I just I was invited by this lady at a bookstore, and I said, sure, I'll go. And I have to tell you, here's another bit of good news. I gave you the bit about Eli. He's talking 2 days in a row. We went for a walk yesterday, and today he went with me. It was real quick again. He went with me, and we just had some lunch, and I dropped him back off at the house. But I told him about this church that we're going to go to, and here's the kicker. It's the one park that there are a lot of memories about Eli. He would walk through this park because it was right next to the gym next to our house when we used to live in Chula Vista. And when things were not well and he was in the hospital and I was looking for answers and I wanted to know what was going on with my kid, like who's he hanging out with and what kind of people are the... It was at this park that I remember walking a lot of times by myself, just asking. I'd ask different people at different establishments, the gym, of course, the coffee shop. But I asked them, hey, you know, have you seen or know of my son Elijah? And, you know, I was trying to fill in the holes. And it's a bigger story than that. But anyway, this park, I remember being in this park and in tears, because I was frustrated, like, how could something like this, how could trauma happen to anybody? But how can it affect somebody so badly that they go into a place that you start losing bits of them? And that's what happened in a rapid rate. Well, today, The Rock has a new Chula Vista church that is opening eventually. But right now, they have a campus that they meet at this park that has a beautiful amphitheater. And in my sad times, I used to say, man, what a tragedy that this kind of stuff happens today. You know, like assaults and bullying and anybody getting beat up or robbed or whatever. And I was just looking at this park by where we used to live, and it was literally 2 blocks away from our old place, and Eli's gym was right there, and I would just be able to say, yeah, I'll see you after the gym, and then he'd run back home. And a lot of people remember him on his skateboard running. This was when he was 19 and now he's 22. And so I told him, I said, Elijah, I said, guess where the church is at? And so, you know, I thought he was going to get more of a kick out of it like I did. And he did it because I'm a corny mom. But the good news is I'm taking that back. God is taking that back. And he's taking this bad memory for not just myself, for everyone involved. And he's making this place a good place. And I'm not saying that it's only because of the church. It's because of the people that were there, that were worshiping. It was the people that were walking through the park, and they were just, you know, they'd stop, they'd be walking their dog, they'd have their babies, and the pandemic is lifted, you know, the face mask as long as everybody's vaccine. But the good news is people are socializing, and I was outside, and I felt like I was in a little concert. And I'm not one that condones... Well, yes, I am. I love music, so I'm going to stop lying and tell you I do pay attention to a lot of the worship music. But they have a great service. Also, the pastor team. This lady from the bookstore at the Chula Vista Mall, her name is Gracie, and she's married to a pastor, Bob Hillard, and they're a great couple, and they invited me to the Rock Church, and I'm inviting you guys to the Rock Church if you go here in Chula Vista. It is at 10 a.m., and I hope that you'll take me up on it if you're in the area. And for the rest of you, what's your good news? What can you look at and say, I'm going to take this opportunity to say, the glass looks like this? Or are you going to stay in that slump? And I'm one. Those divots are very real. It's hard to get out. I'm one that has a son that has stayed in psychosis for months, where I just look at him and he's almost a shell of himself. And no words, no hope, no like, let's get out there, is going to bring them out of those places. No phone calls, no invites out, no friends could bring me out of places sometimes. And sometimes it was just letting time heal. And if that's you, I pray that time heals. I pray that you start looking at things and find the hope in your life. The hope in your life that as long as we have air in our lungs, there's still opportunities to find the good in life. And step by step, you can do it. And you can change what's going on with a little bit of time. And hopefully, more good news. Just changing our perspective a little bit. And maybe one day you'll feel good enough to be like this little lady and share the good news. So how do we get rid of some of these things of angst that are just dark clouds in our life? Well, one small habit, one small thing to do, spread good news. And it might be annoying to some, but it's much needed. There's so much dark out there. I'm not even gonna care how I sound anymore. I think that's just me. I'm so happy for how my day went with Eli, and it might only be 20 minutes, and it might only be 2 days in a row in 2 months. But it's great 2 days. So that's my good news. I love y'all. God loves you. And keep fighting the good fight. Bye.